Good morning and good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We have our 2020 PartnerPro Networks Program webinar today, which is very exciting. So a couple housekeeping items. So we will be recording this and we will make it available to you within 24 hours of the presentation. And as you come in, all of your lines are on mute. So if you have a question, just put it through the Q&A window and we will do our best to address them throughout the presentation. And if there's time at the end, we will try to take some live. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Raylyn, who will kick us off.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you to all of our partners who are joining us today. It definitely shows your commitment to CommScope and your commitment to our partnership, so thank you for taking the time. Time is very valuable. We're joining you here from Sunnyvale, California, but unfortunately all you can see is a boring white conference room with two windows in the background. So I am joined here by my esteemed colleagues. You just met Kristen Shoemate, our Senior Manager of Marketing, who has put on this wonderful call for us. We'll also be hearing from Mario Estevillo. I know we look like a news crew right now. Mario. So Mario is our Director of Partner Programs, and he'll be taking us through both infrastructure and networking. And then remote in Hickory, North Carolina, at our headquarters, we have Gina Foy, who is our Vice President of Channel Marketing, and she'll be covering some of the new branding that you'll see, as well as some more exciting improvements to some things that we've got coming. Very exciting. So again, thanks for joining us. Some of the things you're going to hear about today, of course, are the changes to the program. I can tell you at a very high level that the programs in themselves are not changing dramatically, but what you will see is a change to our primary look and feel and how we're represented under the CommScope PartnerPro network. Next slide, please. Why do we partner? Well, because frankly, we can't do it without you. Our partner channel is extremely valuable to us, and we have some real fundamentals for how we go to market and how we partner. One of the things is just to make sure, we understand that there's a lot of challenges going on within your business, a lot of changes in the business models, and a lot of changes and pressure for the customer. And we're all about solving the customer's problems, going to market together in order to accomplish that. We also strive to bring to market the most competitive and innovative technology with you and provide the services, working with you to wrap those services around that technology to really have a competitive advantage and differentiation. And then finally, you're an extension of our team, and so we're committed to your success, and we also partner with high integrity and trust in those relationships. So we picked the best partners in the industry, and obviously you've all chosen to join us today to hear more. Next slide, thanks. We have 4 primary partner types as we go to market. We have solution providers. A lot of companies call solution providers many different things. And I think you're all kind of wondering, how to differentiate yourself and what to call yourself in the industry today. It's everything from a managed service provider to a VAR to a reseller. The list goes on. But for us, it is solution providers. You are providing some type of a solution, and so that is what we call them. We also have our distributors, value-added distributors, consultants, and of course, to complete the entire solution, we have alliances. We can't do it all ourselves, so we look to our alliance partners as well to complete that solution story for our partners and customers. All right, so let's get into the PartnerPro network overview. Well, if you haven't been paying attention, I'll let you know that there's been quite a few changes this year. So we've pretty much brought together 3 companies and 3 different partner programs into one. So you'll see some unified branding. All of this, CommScope has had the PartnerPro network for a number of years, highly reputable brand as a partner program, and we're bringing together programs for Eris and for Ruckus as well under that umbrella. So what I want to be really clear on is while the PartnerPro network is the overarching brand, and that is changing from what you traditionally known as the Eris Partner Program or the Ruckus Ready Program. The things underneath it are really not changing much. So this is not a new partner program. It's not a combined partner program. It's not a change in how we manage our existing relationships. We're not changing the contracts, and we're not changing anything really related to the partner program benefits. This is just, think of it, well, you'll see a slide in a minute that kind of shows We have a lot of different programs within our product portfolio, and they're all under sort of this umbrella program called the PartnerPro Network. Next slide, please. Wow, so we have a lot of logos or badges, and if you've ever been a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout, these could be your merit badges. You know, the more you earn, the more you get decorated with your nice little scarf. So, but at any rate, we have a lot of different program badges, and this is the look and feel that you'll see. So for solution providers, we kind of have it broken out in different ways. So it's all CommScope PartnerPro Network. If you're a solution provider, you can be a solution provider under the infrastructure program or a solution provider under the networking partner program, and we'll go into the details of each of those in a minute. If you are a consultant, you'll get a consultant badge. Alliances have their own badge as well. We have different distributor badges. So we have a primary distributor badge, and then if you would like to call out your badge in accordance to the technology that you sell, we have those available as well. It's really, as a distie, it's your choice. And then we have various specializations. We've called out a few of them here, things like managed service provider and cloud, CBRS, for example. We have several more. On the networking side, there's also things like hospitality. For both businesses, we have education. And so based on your skill sets and what you've been specialized to do and qualified to do, you can leverage those badges as well. So,
hey, so a question on that, Rylin.
Sure.
So the specializations,
yes.
Those look like networking only, right?
No, there are specializations on the networking and the infrastructure business.
Okay.
And as the companies do more integration and our sellers become and our partners become more focused on selling across the entire portfolio, you can imagine a day where those product levels or those, you know, networking and infrastructure blend into one, and you're just focused on, say, hospitality.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Great. All right, next slide. So the PartnerPro Network partner types. We have various partner programs and partner types based on the technology that feeds into the PartnerPro Network. So you could be a Systemax infrastructure partner, and you can be a solution provider under that and a elite solution provider under that. So let me clarify. If you were previously an infrastructure premier partner, we have consolidated that naming convention to elite. So if you're a networking elite partner, things really haven't changed for you as far as a top tier level naming convention, but if you were previously an infrastructure elite partner, you are now or a premier partner, you are an elite now. On the same token, if you were previously a networking select partner, you are now just considered a CommScope PartnerPro solution provider, and so the select nomenclature will be going away. So you can see here various programs based on the specific technology, and you can see that Ruckus is a product portfolio under the PartnerPro network, just as IBW, Uniprise, NetConnect, et cetera. And so we have different partner programs based on the different products. So some of the things that will remain the same, I can tell you that, you know, being part of the acquisition, we are looking at our back-end systems, and we are creating this business requirements and best of breed. And so what we're trying to do is say, hey, you know, we've had 3 partner portals, for example, so which is the strongest of those partner programs, and how do we integrate those portals without being disruptive to our partner community? So those are some of the things that we're looking at in the background here. But for now, you will continue to access the portals as you have in the past, no changes. So you will still go to the URLs that you can see here on the screen and access all of the tools and information that you had done in the past. And you will start to see, as you can see on the partners.ruckuswireless.com, you can see that that's all transitioning to our new branding under the CommScope PartnerPro Network, and that will continue to evolve until we will be eventually under one portal. But most likely throughout the remainder of the year, this will be the way that you will access your information and tools. Wow, I'm done already?
Wow, nice.
That went fast.
It did go fast.
Great. So I'm going to transition it over to Mario now, and he's going to talk a little bit about the different programs under infrastructure and networking.
Okay.
Mario?
Thank you very much. All right, so the first thing I want to do on the next slide is really compare and contrast the programs a bit, because for those partners that have been participating in the infrastructure program, when I show you the networking slides, there's probably going to be some confusion. I mean, it just looks different. And so for the legacy networking partners who are traditional kind of Ruckus partners, again, the CommScope program, it just looks different, right? And so when you look at the structure, you know, whether it's kind of at the partner levels, there's more partner levels on the infrastructure side. It's kind of the four or five partner levels on the infrastructure side versus the two primary partners on the networking side. When you look at the certification requirements on infrastructure, the partners are certified by partner type and solution type, right? And so it's the mix of those two things. On the networking side, really, you're going to be certified or authorized on the networking products. We don't split it, right? We have wired and wireless, but all of our partners are authorized to sell both, and they have to be certified on both. So that's a primary difference as well. The financial incentives on the infrastructure side is primarily around the deal-based incentive of OIP, the Opportunity Incentive Program, and I'll get into some details about that. But it's a deal-based rebate incentive is the primary one. On the networking side, we have a couple. The biggest one is the VIP program. It's a rebate program based on target revenue by quarter or quarterly MBOs. So it's kind of a bigger overall base, and it's paid on a bigger revenue base. The second part is we also have reseller spiffs, a program for reseller spiffs. So again, the incentive structure is also quite different. On MDF, on the infrastructure side, it's a much more limited program, kind of much more focused on very specific opportunities. On the networking side, we have a broad program for distributors and for our elite solution providers. And so again, there's a big difference there. And the last one I'll highlight here is warranty. On the infrastructure side, the warranty is really kind of a key differentiator for CommScope. It's a 25-year warranty, and it's required that the infrastructure is installed by an authorized reseller for the warranty to be valid. On the networking side, we have kind of a real strong warranty, but frankly, it's not dependent on who installs it in the go-to-market or the fulfillment model. Okay, so you should expect some differences, or when we go through this. If we can go to the next one. So let me jump into the infrastructure piece of the PartnerPro network program. So at a high level, a couple of the big pieces here, the value of the program are around demand generation and awareness, right? And so it's really only the authorized partners that are part of or on the online partner locator. So that awareness level is dependent on the authorization of the partners. We have regional events and local customer events that our partners are invited to. So again, we provide some touch to the end customers. We provide some, effectively demand generation. We do marketing campaigns and digital outreach, and that's again to drive customer leads to create that demand gen. And again, I do want to highlight the partner delivered warranty is a key part of the program. Because it's only the authorized partners that enable that. And so that's a really, really kind of differentiator and value in the program. On the next slide, hopefully you're all familiar with this, at least all of the legacy CommScope partners. This is the CommScope Partner Portal. This is, it's gone through revisions and improvements. This will still be the one of the primary touch points for the CommScope infrastructure partners. So again, we continually improve it, but it's a key base of information and touch point between you, the partners, and us, CommScope. On the next slide, we talk about some of the functionality that the portal provides. It's the place where the partners go to sign up. So if you're not yet a partner and you're interested in joining the infrastructure piece of the program, this is where you go to sign up. There's documentation on the program, on the requirements, on the certification requirements, and so on. There's a knowledge base. So the knowledge base covers technical issues as well as sales positioning type issues or recommendations. The warranty process that I talked about is incorporated in the CPP. So that's where our partners go to register the deals that they've completed, they've installed, and they want to put that warranty in place with their end customer. Our lead management, our CRM, this is part of the customer portal. So you would do your deal registration on here. Deal registration is a key part of the Opportunity Incentive Program, so that this is the place to go do that as well. Your training records to make sure that you're meeting the training requirements for your authorization. All that status is also on the CPP. I mentioned the OIP, so that is also included in this CPP. And then business planning is incorporated in this, right? So it is a central place, a central repository and touch point to go check the status of your deals, your business, your engagement with us. The Opportunity Incentive Program, again, just a little bit more detail. It is different than the networking piece. So it's deal-based, right, and it's based on net new opportunities. So deal registration is a base requirement for it. So you as a partner go out and find a deal, a net new deal, you register it, you go onto the CPP, you register the deal. Once it's registered, then essentially it's an eligible deal for OIP, the Opportunity Incentive Program. The program, you'd work closely with your CommScope infrastructure account manager to see if it's a deal that could qualify for OIP. The rebates range based on kind of the deal value and the pricing and so on. It isn't a set percentage rebate. It's based on multiple variables that you need to go work with your account manager. So once that, you would work with your account manager to submit that. Once that gets submitted and approved, you'll get notified of the approval and the percent rebate for that particular deal. You kind of execute the deal as normal through distribution, and then on the back end you claim it. So again, the key points are here, it's a deal-based, it's based on net new opportunities, and the rebate amount varies based on kind of the parameters of the deal. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. So I wanted to just show you here, again, the authorizations at the partner level are, based on kind of the partner level here. So here it shows an example authorization badge or certificate. So in this case, it would be this is showing a solution provider, but it could be an elite solution provider. So it's based on the partner type, and then it's based on the product solution. So in this case, it's the systematic infrastructure. So Raylene showed you that table earlier, and so various partner types are able to get authorized on various product solution sets. So you should check that table to see if you can get authorized on a particular partner type. On the next slide, we show the customer warranty. And again, so the warranty here is based on the installation site of the customer, the end customer. And so, that building may change names, it may change ownership hands, but it's really the address that gets warranted for the 25 years. And again, a real clear differentiator, there are lots of deals out there when the RFQs or RFPs are put out. They specify, either our warranty or warranty that fits our model very well, the 25-year warranty. So it should be a clear differentiator for you to be an authorized partner with us. On this slide, we're talking about the Infrastructure Academy. One of the difficult parts about a program, and I think one of the true tests of a valuable program, is how often is the educational resources updated. Are they updated as we launch, as products are launched? Are they, continually refreshed, as the products get launched? And so CommScope on the infrastructure side has done a fantastic job of kind of creating a really sustainable model to do that. So as new products are launched, or kind of new trends are launched in the market, the Infrastructure Academy posts these new classes. And there's actually a really kind of deep level of classes available per product set, right? So, when I was first exposed to it, frankly, I was surprised at how many different training courses or lines there are per product line. So it's quite deep, and it's quite, I think, quite valuable to get trained up and really learn how to position it from a sales side, how to install it, and how to support it. So again, clear value here. And the last piece here I'll highlight on the infrastructure side is the infrastructural virtual campus, right? And so this is, again, another touch point for marketing resources. So you'll be able to get partner marketing resources on how to sell the product, collateral that's available for demand generation activities, for awareness building, to get to know CommScope better in terms of what product launches are we have coming out. Any kind of market trend changes and so on. There's obviously training and development, again, to kind of deepen your skill set in the product sets. And it is a kind of a virtual functionality for webinars, and so it provides some auditorium functionality. So again, another touch point to engage with us.
And so Mario, is that available, the virtual campus, as part of the partner portal?
Yeah,
for infrastructure?
Yeah, it is found in the partner portal.
And do you know, is that the same, do they just use the same login, or are they two separate logins?
You know, I believe it's the same. I don't want to say that for sure. I don't know.
Two separate logins.
Okay.
Rhetorical question.
Okay, so that was the infrastructure piece. All right, now let me jump into the networking piece. You know, we haven't said Ruckus a lot. We're going to maintain the Ruckus branding, but when we say networking as opposed to infrastructure, what we're talking about is a Ruckus portfolio. And so this is the, you know, the PartnerPro network program piece for the Ruckus product set, essentially. And so let me, if we can, jump to the next slide. So here we talk about the partner types and specializations, and really, you know, we really should focus here on the partner types. And we have a relatively simple model. So we have distributors that get certified on our product sets and get authorized, and we engage with them on a direct basis. And then we have solution providers, right? We have an elite level solution provider, and they meet a higher level of requirements, particularly on the training and certification front. And then we have just solution providers. We haven't, as Raylene mentioned, we've taken away the select nomenclature for that. So if it's just a solution provider, then that's just kind of the base level. And then if it's an elite solution provider, it's the higher level, and they have to meet higher requirements, which I'll show you.
So Mario, if you are a solution provider, previously a select, and you are compliant with all of the requirements, will you be continued to be featured in the locator?
Yes, right. And so, you know, we also have a partner locator. You know, so as end customers come to onto our website, they'll see that. And so those that get highlighted in that partner locator are all of our elite partners and the solution providers that have met the recommended training requirements. So I'll go through that. Solution providers don't have mandatory training requirements. It's recommended, but if they meet the recommendations, then they will be on the partner locator.
So if I'm a partner out there and I say, man, these logos are super cool, when can I start using them?
Well, you're giving me all these marketing questions.
I mean, I have a sense they can start using them as...
February 2nd, wasn't it?
I think it is.
Well, actually,
Fifth.
this is Gina, and so I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and we'll be offering those beginning on February 5th.
That sounds great.
All right, February 5th. Okay, if we could go on, and so that's the only, those are the only slides I have up, Kristen, so if I can... You're kind of hiding the slide there. I can't see it.
Sorry.
All right, it's okay. So here we're talking about the partner requirements at each partner level, right? And so we've got the distributors on the left-hand side. And again, this is a direct engagement. So these are just kind of the high-level points. The reality is, you know, we engage with distributors on a contract basis. So that contract, we have a kind of a framework for that, but that contract gets negotiated, and there's lots of T's and C's around that. We have a business plan, so we have an ongoing business plan process with the distributors. The majority of that process is Raylene flies all over the world meeting with distributors all the time, right?
It's the best part of my job.
She's constantly meeting with distributors and solution providers. And we have both sales and pre-sales training, right? And so for distributors, basically we do say you need to be able to know how to position and sell the products. And the training in that respect is all about that. It's not so much on the technical side, it's around the sales side. We have minimum annual requirements on the revenue side, and it's based on geography, so it varies by geography. And another key point is here we do require POS submission, point of sale submission. So we rely on point of sales for lots of reasons on our side internally. It's really, really valuable and important to us, so we do require that from our distributor partners. On the solution providers, again, this is the base solution providers. There's an application, essentially it's the web-based T's and C's. You know, you would go up and click, once you go into the partners.ruckuswireless.com site, you would click to accept those T's and C's. We have recommended training for both kind of the sales side and the technical side. It is recommended. If you want to be on the partner locator, you'll meet those recommendations. And then we also have recommended demo equipment purchase. So on the elite solution provider side, it is a contract. Essentially, it's a web-based contract, but it's more than just a little bit of an acceptance. So it's a web-based contract. We do require a business plan. So the expectation is that you're engaging with the CommScope partner account manager. And so there is an annual business plan that should be reviewed really at least on a quarterly basis with your PAM. There are requirements that we do go and check around the sales side. So sales, being the actual salesperson, and then the pre-sales being more of the SE oriented sales training. And there's also technical training that's required that be completed, and I'll go through those details. And then we do have a revenue requirement of $500,000 per year in our larger countries and $200,000 in our smaller countries. And we can provide those details. I don't have them here, but we can provide those details as needed. So the next 3 slides, what I do is try to provide an overview of the benefits per partner level. So this first slide here is for the networking solution providers. And so these are benefits that are applicable both to the base solution providers as well as the elite solution providers, right? So deal registration, we also have that on the networking side. So we know we need to protect your investment in finding deals. So you would go into the Ruckus Partner Portal and register those deals. Our inside sales teams go and validate those, and if you're the first to find it, and the deal value is at least a $5,000 MSRP value, you would get awarded that deal registration. With that comes an immediate discount, for all those deals, but it also puts you in position. If the deal goes through the special pricing process, it puts you in the position to get the best special pricing on that deal. Also, for all of our solution providers, our demo discounts. So we provide our hardware and software products at 77 off. And that's through distribution, but the distributor, we recommend, encourage them to sell it to our partners at 77 off. And you can get up to 3 units of any SKU per lab location. So this is intended for our solution providers' labs. It's not really intended for proof of concepts at the end user site. It's for our solution provider labs. And essentially all of our products are eligible for this. And you can get up to 3 SKUs at any lab location. I talked briefly about rewards, but rewards, you should think of it as like a rewards program, like a frequent flyer program. Like a bunch of sandwich shops now have rewards programs. Grocery stores has rewards programs. So it's a similar concept where our solution providers, sales reps, and SEs sign up for the program. And it's all levels, so it's both levels, just base solution providers as well as elite solution providers. They sign up to the program. We have promotions. There are areas that were eligible for these points. So right now it's net new customer deals of a minimum deal size, cloud Wi-Fi deals, and cloud path. So if you do a sale that meets those requirements, you can go into the site, claim that deal, and you'll get points for it. And as you accrue points, you can cash them in for prizes. Okay, so it's a points-based system, and it's for sales reps and SEs that are solution providers. E-learning, again, most of the requirements for training are web-based. So the model on the networking side is free-based or free training when it's web-based, and again, that's the vast majority of it. So that's available to all of our solution providers. And we talked about the partner locator again, but if the solution providers meet the requirements of the training, then they will be included in our partner locator. So that's the base, that's kind of all over the common benefits for all of our solution providers. On the next slide are the benefits specifically for our elite solution providers on the networking side. So our market development funds, all of our elite partners are eligible for MDF funds. So it's proposal-based. So we have kind of a web-based infrastructure. Again, that's part of our portal. So they would go in and fill out proposals. And so you would work, the real model is that you work with your account manager, your PAM, and your PAM would work with our field marketing folks. But they go and you would develop a proposal on a marketing activity. You would submit it through the tool. and then it would be pre-approved. Once it's pre-approved and you get notice or you get notified that it's pre-approved, you go execute the activity. You're, as the solution provider, essentially paying for the activity up front, but after it's done, you provide us proof that that activity was done, and then we reimburse you up to 50% or the amount that we agreed to in the proposal. And, you know, there's a broad variety of marketing activities that we support. So, you know, general demand generation and awareness, equipment purchases for the demo program, education, if you're going to apply it to some of our, there's a few education classes that do cost. There's a cost associated with that, so that's also applicable for MDF funds. Okay, so again, big investment. That's actually our biggest investment on the networking side in terms of our program is MDF. The second biggest investment is our rebate program. And again, this is fundamentally different than what we do on the infrastructure side. So it's a quarterly rebate program based on revenue attainment. So we establish revenue targets for each of our elite solution providers based on their history. So we do a 4-quarter look back, and we take an average of those 4 quarters, and then we apply our corporate growth targets to that average. And so we establish a target for each partner. We publish those targets, and then we require that the elite partner actually accept the target. And once they've accepted the target, they essentially go and execute the target. If they meet the target at least at 100% of the targets, which again includes growth based on their history, so if they hit that target, they're eligible for at least 2% rebate on their revenue, on their product revenue. So it doesn't include education, it doesn't include support. But it's at least 2% rebate on their product revenue for that quarter. And if they exceed the target by 150% or more, it's a 3% rebate. Right? So, it's based on the entire revenue for the quarter. It's not just based on any specific deals. Okay, so again, we think a really rich program that we've seen drive partner engagement. The last piece is funded heads. All of our elite partners are eligible, solution providers are eligible for funded heads. I'll be honest with you, it is based on larger revenue opportunities, right? So funded heads, you expect a relatively large multiple on the investment on the funded heads. So the places where we have funded heads are with our largest partners, but that's always an opportunity that we're open to discussing. Okay, on the next slide, I think we've got the distribution benefits, the distributor benefits. And so we have MDF as well. Again, we have very substantial MDF investments. The vast majority of our distribution partners participate in our MDF program. It's also proposal-based. There's pre-approval required. They engage in our tool as well to submit their proposals and to get their pre-approvals. Again, kind of the same list of activities that are eligible for that. And then there's reimbursement after proof of performance. Okay, so similar model to the solution provider side that's here on the distribution side. We also have a quarterly rebate program, the VIP program for distributors. The model is slightly different. In the solution provider, it's based on a 4-quarter average plus growth. On the distributor model, it's a year-over-year quarter look. So for Q1 of 2020, we looked at the Q1 of 2019 revenue, and then we applied a growth factor to it. But there are two MBO components to it. One, MBO1, and MBO stand for Management by Objectives. It's a specific target, right? And so MBO1 is Distribution Managed Revenue. And so what that means is we're looking at the revenue we believe the distributors really have ownership in driving. And so we pull out all of the revenue that's driven by our elite solution providers. We pull out revenue by our hospitality service provider partners and so on. So the general concept is if it's an account that we, CommScope, have high touch with and we have essentially headcount managing it, then we would not count that as the distribution managed revenue. So we want the distributors to be measured and rewarded for the revenue that they are directly driving. So we established that target for MBO1. And then MBO2 is more product-specific based target. And so in this current quarter, Q1 20, It's based on our switching portfolio, the ICX velocity SKUs. So these are, I think, 5 of our highest volume SKUs. We look, again, at the history that you have with that SKU, the distributor has with that SKU. We apply a growth factor to it and so you have a target for Q1 performance on that. So the combination of the two MBOs, MBO1 and MBO2, leads to a possible rebate of 2% maximum. And they are measured individually, right? So if you get you achieve on MBO1, you would get paid on MBO1. If you achieve on MBO2, you get paid on MBO2. If you achieve both, you get paid on both. All right, so that's our rebate program. Funded heads, again, we have very substantial investments with our partners on funded heads. A very good percentage or a very high percentage of our distribution partners have funded heads. These are proposal-based, and we look at them on a quarterly or biannual review process, right? And so we're making a direct investment on headcount resources that are focused on CommScope networking sales. And so, and they are substantial investments, right? And so we want to make sure that we're getting a good ROI. So we expect relatively high multiples of performance driving revenue. So we monitor that pretty closely and have been very successful with that program. The demo discount program, again, is very similar to the reseller program, quantity 3 per SKU per lab location. It's both for our distributor labs, so if they have labs, demonstration labs, and it's also for resellers participating in the demo program. And then again, the same point around e-learning, we have free web-based training available for our distributor partners. All right, I'm getting close here. The training. So training, a couple of takeaways. There's a good amount of detail here, but the green columns are the sales training requirements. Sales are focused at true sales folks. Pre-sales are more SE-oriented sales type classes. You see 1, 2, 3 rows there down at the bottom, right? And so you see a distributor row and an elite row, which is an elite solution provider, and then the solution provider row. So the numbers in each row represent how many headcount, how many people we require be trained in the various areas, right? And so for distributors, we require that they have 2 folks that have completed the sales training on the portfolio, the wired and wireless, able to essentially position CommScope networking across the portfolio. We require 2 headcount be trained on the ICX switching portfolio, and then we require 2 headcount be required on the SE side, so they can position the product from a technical perspective. And those can all be the same headcount. In most cases, they are the same headcount. So you could have 2 people who have done the portfolio training, the same 2 people have done the ICX sales training, and then the same 2 people have done the wireless SE training. And so that would meet the requirement for the distributors. So the distributors only have to do the sales training. And you can look at the bottom, the time requirement is very modest, right? And so in total, that training would require about 2 hours. Elites have that same requirement, so they have to have the 2 people trained on the sales and pre-sales side. But then they have the higher requirements on the technical side. So they have to have two people. Again, could be the same 2 people. Typically not, though, because they're technical people. But that could meet the ICX implementer training. So essentially being able to install and design an installation on the switching side, and then 2 people on the routing and switching protocols. So that just tests kind of the basic knowledge of being able to implement, understand, manage routing and switching protocols on our switches. And then on wireless, again, same type of setup. It's 2 folks meeting the technical accreditation on the WISE 2017 training. And then there is an industry standard training that is external. It's the CWNA training. And there's 2 people required for that as well too. And so those are the kind of the big requirements in terms of time. So the wireless training is at 10 hours for the WISE 2017 and 5 hours for the CWNA. The technical side on the wired, as you can see, it's 5 hours and 13 hours. So the elite solution providers have a significantly higher bar to meet on the certification side. And the last line here is the solution provider side. These are recommendations. So if you want to be on the partner locator, you have to meet them. But essentially, it's everything that the elite providers have to meet, but only one head count, and you don't have to do the CWNA. So it's still a relatively substantial investment, but it does prove that you know on the technical side how to install it, how to design it, and how to support it.
So Mario, just for clarification, these are all pretty much on demand, correct?
Not the CWNA.
And okay, and so then there's a charge for that one, right?
That's
because
right.
That's an industry training, so you would be paying for the industry training costs, but all of the other ones are free of charge.
That's right.
Great. We had one more question that I wanted to raise. So when we say net new, are we saying that it's net new to the networking business or net new to a product portfolio like cloud or CloudPath?
So it depends on the context of that question. So if the head question is with regard, it's one question for rewards, right, which it sounds like given that context, It's a rewards question. So for rewards, for the net new customer, it's a net new end customer to CommScope networking, which really means we'd go back and look at when we were, when that we had a Ruckus division, we'd go back in the Ruckus POS and see if there was any deals done on the Ruckus side. I believe it's for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so we do a look back for 2 years. If they've not done any Ruckus transactions 2 years prior, then they qualify that, provided they meet a minimum deal size. And I got to confess, I don't remember that off the top of my head.
So if they bought an access point 24 months or like 12 months ago, and now they want to buy CloudPath, that's not considered a net new customer.
That's not a net new customer, but CloudPath, there's a separate reward for that. So any CloudPath deals, Cloud Wi-Fi deals, there are separate rewards for those, regardless if they were net new or not.
Got it. Hope that answered the question. Great.
Okay, so I know that was a lot on the training slide. And I do want to answer just one more question on the training, which we always get asked, and that is, do all of the partners have to get trained on wired and wireless? We have, on the Ruckus side, there's a kind of a history of partners that sold only wireless, but it's just kind of really strategically important that our partners sell both wired and wireless. And what we've seen when we've looked at the data is those partners that have sold both or that sell both wired and wireless, their growth over the last 12 months has been significantly, materially better than those partners that only sell one part of the portfolio, right? It just gives you better stickiness if you're going into a customer and you're selling the networking solution in total as opposed to selling one piece or the other.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, that was a lot.
All right.
I think, are we ready to turn it over to Gina? Yes, we are.
Great. Thank you, Mario. As Raylene mentioned, I am Gina Foy and Global Vice President of Partner Marketing. I'm part of the Global Marketing Organization. And today I work really closely with Raylene, Mario, Kristen. And today I'm going to introduce you to the brand launch we talked a little bit about earlier and deliverables that will be coming your way. Next slide, please. So beginning on February the 5th, we will be launching links through your respective partner portals that we've talked about today to both the solution providers. We'll have kits for you and kits for the distributors. So included in these will be things like branding guidelines, logos, event material, e-bite, video, everything digitally, of course, that you can produce on your own as well. So we hope that you will find these useful, and right now I'll give you a snapshot into what these may look like in the upcoming slides. So next slide, please. So as mentioned, we will have a detailed PartnerPro Network brand guidelines. It's a very visual brand guideline this time for your reference, as you can see here. On to the next slide. So included in these guidelines are actually the ways in which the CommScope logo should be used and positioned on co-branded material. So here are some of the basic guidelines around the sizing and spacing that you should expect to see in the guidelines. Where applicable, which would be currently just Ruckus, let's say, the platform brand treatment that you can see in the lower right can be used in the same fashion as the CommScope logo. Next slide. Here you will see a representation of how the logos will be, the guidelines look as far as premium or co-branded materials, shirts and hats and things such as that. As you can see here, I had some questions over on the left. The dog is still alive and well, and so will be part of the store and the collateral going forward for our Ruckus partners. Next. In addition, we have provided a lot of event materials for your download as well, and co-branding. As you can see here, some examples of certificates and badges, some backwall graphics for trade shows and events, as well as some pop-up banners for both our infrastructure and networking partners. Okay. As well as support materials such as ads, digital ads, banners that can be co-branded as well. So again, we hope that you will find these kits valuable and help to answer most of your branding questions. Of course, we're always available to do that should they come up once you get these kits around February the 5th. And then lastly, I am happy to announce that CommScope will be holding a global partner conference this year in Orlando, June the 16th through the 18th. So this will actually be the first of its kind partner conference using our vast partner community across the globe. And so we are planning on an exciting agenda to showcase the breadth of our portfolio that will bring new opportunities and growth for all of you and collaboration. So look for more details to come in the next week or so. Save the date, and we'll have more information soon. Thank you. Back to you, Raylene.
Thank you, Gina. Yeah, and frankly, this event is really exciting for me. It's been a while since the CommScope infrastructure side has had a face-to-face event, and on the networking side, we've just had so much momentum from the Big Dogs event. So having these events together, having our partners with the opportunity to get to know the different solutions and how to represent a broader portfolio and differentiate your business is key. And of course, as more and more partners, in fact, we know that over 50% of our partners, such as yourselves, are meeting up with one another to complete the solution for your customers. This is a great opportunity to meet other partners on the respective sides of the business and partner up. So little matchmaking event for all of you. So we're really excited about that. So once the information comes out to you, please be sure to get registered as soon as possible. All right, next slide. So next steps. So what you've seen so far is really two kind of separate programs, one for infrastructure, one for networking, and that's the way it will be throughout 2020. But we do want to encourage the ability to cross-sell against the entire portfolio, and so what you will be seeing is more training coming out, more enablement. So if you're on the networking side, get familiar with some of the tools that we'll be launching to understand more about infrastructure and vice versa. When I talked earlier about the portals and trying to get more of the back-end processes aligned and with best practices, one of the other things that we'll be looking at is how to combine things like marketing development funds. We have several different tools and processes today for how we manage just simple things like MDF. So within the coming months, you'll start to see things rolling out to consolidate that process, those platforms, to ultimately make it easier for you and more transparent for you to understand, what marketing funds are available to you, what's been approved, and then enabling you to go in and make those claims and get paid out for those activities. And then finally, this has been a lot of information. We recognize that, and we recognize that, an hour, 45 minutes is a really long time to be on a call and hearing about all of these programs. And so you're probably, as I am myself, just trying to piece it all together and understand what it means. So we know that there needs to be more in-depth training. So we will be creating that within the coming months. You will get individual trainings on how to leverage MDF. What is MDF all about? What is the tool to go in and do that? What are our MDF guidelines? What do you need to be aware of there? How far in advance do you need to make a prior approval or a claim? And we'll also be having things on there as far as the education and how to access that. So just keep in mind that we're not expecting that we're going to have this webcast today and you're all going to instantly get it and know exactly how to start moving on it. So we will be launching those training modules for you to understand more closely and also taking advantage of some of the webcasts like this to feature areas that need a deeper dive. So with that, Going to, one last piece here. If you're interested, if you're a networking partner or an infrastructure partner and you're interested in learning more about the other programs or opportunities, these are the portals that you can go and access and complete an application in order to start having access to that product line. In addition, we have implemented what we're considering a sub-distribution model. So for infrastructure partners who are interested in procuring the Ruckus technology, you can continue to work with your existing distributors to procure that. And vice versa. So networking partners interested in infrastructure, please continue to work with your current distributors, and we'll work through that sub-distribution model. We're not planning on just turning on all products for all distributors at this point, but we want to make sure that if you do have an opportunity, you're able to work with the partner that you already have a line of credit set up with and are comfortable working with. So learn more about the programs. I know this was a lot. I saw some questions coming up about the availability of the slides and the replay, and that will be made available to you. Go through it at your leisure and learn more, or absolutely engage with your account manager or with our teams to understand more about the program if you have very specific questions. And ultimately, I mean, we want to continue to work with you. You're critical to our business, and so we want to build a plan that's complementary to the entire enterprise portfolio at CommScope, and thank you again for being on this call. So with that, I want to take the opportunity to kind of address some questions that we might have here on the right. Some of them we were able to get to, and some of them we were not. So let's start, Kristen. What do you think? Where are we at?
We've got a lot of questions coming in, particularly around the Global Partner Conference.
Okay.
So we got a couple questions that said, will this replace the Big Dogs Conference? Will there be a Europe version? So you might want to just kind of talk through all of that.
Yeah, so this is, Gina, maybe, do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
Go ahead, Raylan, and I could jump in.
Okay, so it is a global event, and that's why it's being held in such a beautiful city like Orlando. Definitely take the opportunity if you're coming to bring some of the family and go enjoy Disney World. So yes, it is a global event. It is replacing the Big Dogs event. It's actually, so what we've done is we've taken the CommScope Partner Summit, and we've taken the Ruckus Big Dogs event, and we've combined that into one global enterprise event.
Great. So a question, should legacy Ruckus partners go sign up on the CommScope portal, or will that migration be automatic?
Unless you are desiring to be an infrastructure partner at this point, don't see any reason for you to sign up on the CommScope portal. You would continue to just leverage the Ruckus portal as you've been doing for the most up-to-date networking information.
Great.
There was a couple of questions I saw about certification on the Ruckus side, right? So there was a question about do they now have to recertify under the CommScope brand? And so the answer is no. So the lifetime of the technical training of the certification is 3 years. For the technical side, it's 3 years. And so if you're an individual who's completed that
certification
remains valid for 3 years. The sales and pre-sales training is valid for a year. And again, the time requirement on those is very modest. I think what we said, it was like 2 hours in total. And so those last for a year. So as long as so this change in branding and consolidation of the programs, the branding consolidation doesn't affect your certifications.
Great. So I did get a note on the CommScope side from Monica Doherty, who knows the programs in and out. She wanted me to mention that the link that I had on there was incorrect. So for partners that are accessing the CPP, the link is commscope.com/membership. And if you need access to that, your partner account manager will be able to help you get that. So I just wanted to clarify.
But we'll update that for the slides.
Yeah, so before I send it out, absolutely. But yeah, that is a key note there. So let's see, we got a lot of questions about warranty.
Yeah, I saw that question about warranty. So again, you should think of, so the product sets are different, right? And so the 25-year warranty definitely does not apply to the ICX switches or the access points. The warranty that those products you've been selling them with and that you've sold with remain in place, right? So I believe the warranties differ by the switches. I think the general warranty is 3 years, but you should go and check that. But the overall message is that hasn't changed. It's not going to automatically jump to 25 years. I mean, frankly, switches, their life times just aren't that long. They get switched out or they get changed out more often than that. So it hasn't changed. It remains as it's been for the last year or so.
Great, thank you. Gina, question on branding. So we have a question that says, in verticals we work with Ruckus, has much more recognized branding. Are we able to lead with Ruckus branding in these scenarios?
As it will be in the guidelines, absolutely the Ruckus will be part of that. As you can see in the platform brands that will be in the guidelines, it will be CommScope with the Ruckus underneath, and that's how it will begin to appear in all documentation if it's from the Ruckus side of the business.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay.
I saw a question in here. Can we register an infrastructure opportunity in the networking portal? The answer is no. Those portals are completely separate today. So you'll have to register your networking opportunity in the networking portal, and vice versa.
Great. And Gina, do you know when the promotional items with the new logo will be available to order?
The promotional items, they're already, such as the dogs, they're already available on your respective stores, or should be. We're in the process of migrating and combining combining the network and infrastructure stores so that you can order whatever you want from there. So we're constantly updating that right now. But things such as the dogs are already available.
Excellent.
The plush puppies and the bigger dogs. Right?
The bigger dogs and the small, yes, exactly. And then from a collateral standpoint, it's ongoing, and hopefully most of that will be available, as we said, starting on February 5th.
So another question, Gina, on the conference. I've seen a couple of these come up already.
Okay.
When we're having a worldwide event, obviously, which means that there will be a lot of partners who are not necessarily able to attend outside of the U.S. Will we be packaging up those materials so that the local teams can do events for the local partners?
Yes, we are discussing that right now. We realize and know that not everyone will be attending the global conference, although we would love for you to be there from a global standpoint. But we will be packaging that up as we have in the past and taking that out regionally in a more condensed version.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other major themes or anything that we want to address? I think we've answered kind of everything that's come through that we've seen, kind of the major themes. We'll stay on the line for a couple more minutes.
I can answer a couple of the other more detailed ones, right? Okay. So there's one about Cloud Path. When you talk about Cloud Path, are you talking about Ruckus hosted or Prem Cloud Path? In the context of, I think that's the question in the context of rewards, and so it would be either or both, right? And so you would get rewards. You're eligible for rewards, whether it's a Ruckus, whether it's an on-prem Cloud Path solution, or if it's a Ruckus-hosted Cloud Path solution.
Great. And Gina, the dates again for the Global Partner Conference are?
June the 16th through the 18th.
In Orlando, Florida.
Yes, and like I said, we will begin sending out save the dates Monday.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to either your account manager or the team directly. We'll follow up with the slides and the recording, and look forward to working with you this year.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.